I have no intention of doing monologues. Shit is crazy. I have opinions. You guys know most of my opinions. Yes, he gets all my apple cores. He does not get my peach pits, though. You guys probably don't want to hear me eating. Rabbeinu Hamelech. Shlita. מה שלומך?
As I told you before, I got your cough, but nothing to write home about. Celebrated Eid al-Qadr.
Celebrated what?
Eid al-Qadr.
Eid al-Qadr? I don't know Sunni.
Druze. It's a Druze holiday.
It's Druze? Aha.
So I took a day off.
Aha.
And we visited...
Shlema.
Yeah, thank you. And we visited the land of the tribe of Menashe, between Megiddo and the Carmel, which is now nicely flowering.
So, for the people who don't know, Har Megiddo is where the word Armageddon comes from.
Yeah. So I went to check whether Armageddon already started. Not
Has
today, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah. Things are not well in the United States. Things are not well in Iran. But hopefully things are well in Israel.
No. It's the same mess. Ordinary mess.
Yes, but the death tolls, from what I hear in Israel, aren't rising like they are. Well, here it's gone from 1 to 2. And in Iran, we're currently looking at something between 30 and 40,000.
Well, we have at least 2 religious people ran over by buses in a demonstration last week or 2. So we were doing our best to keep up.
They didn't die, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Oy, Hashem Yerachem.
Yep. So we're trying our best. I mean, we cannot keep up with America, which is larger and more well-armed place, but we're trying.
Well, I mean, we've had two protesters die,
Mm.
and you've had two protesters die, and you're a much smaller country.
Yep.
But Iran is certainly vying for the death toll in Gaza right now.
Yes.
And I dare say, and yes, Adam, Lord have mercy on us. I dare say the civilian deaths in Iran might already have surpassed the civilian deaths in Gaza.
Could be.
Could be. Could be.
Yeah, I'm still speaking. Yeah, I'm still looking for some demonstrations about it, but
are you joking?
yeah.
Even the Persian community in Los Angeles isn't demonstrating. The only demonstrations in Los Angeles right now are because of what's going on in Minnesota. What are the Isaac Accords? I have not heard of the Isaac Accords.
Neither did I.
I heard of the Cyrus Accords. That's Reza Pahlavi's idea for extension of the Abraham Accords to Iran.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which would be nice. But I had a thought since I saw some news about the Trump administration and Voice of America Farsi. It seems to me that Trump might be getting ready to recognize an independent Kurdistan in Iran. I think it's a possibility. I think it's a serious possibility.
Well, everything is a possibility with Trump, but I just didn't get any hint. It's not seeming to be very favorable to the Kurds in Syria.
Yeah. Grok seems to think that Bibi Netanyahu would be for it.
Bibi Netanyahu would be what?
Would be for the idea of an independent Kurdistan on Iranian territory.
None of his business.
None of his business? I wouldn't say none of his business. Okay. Haskamei Yitzchak from John Smith. Mitkaravim.
I still don't know what
in Drom America?
From America.
What's Drom America? Latin America?
Yep. South America. Okay. Drom America, literally South America. Agreement between whom? Argentina and Brazil? I don't know what they're talking about.
Argentina, I could believe. Argentina, I could easily believe. Javier Milei is the most Zionist leader of a Latin American country I've ever heard of. Hashem Yerachem.
Watch his speech. Chezi, can you just summarize things for me? Because this world is so much going on.
He wants me to try to understand in modern Hebrew news. You realize that of the four languages I speak, modern Hebrew is definitely my weakest.
Okay, so let you know that Galmud is a word. I have not invented the word Galmud.
Okay, what's Galmud?
Galmud. Remember when I was rhyming Galmud with Talmud?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
What
did
does
not invent.
Garmud mean?
Well, it's in Eov somewhere. Ah,
Galmud or Garmud?
Galmud, yes,
Galmud.
as he spells it. Yeah, it's in Eov.
What does it mean?
All alone, I think, and miserable like a rock in the desert.
Okay.
Hi, Andrew.
Andrew got a haircut.
Yeah,
Andrew,
I
can you
haven't smelled.
explain what Hez is talking about?
Let me look at his link. YouTube short.
I'm pretty sure your modern Hebrew is worse than mine, Andrew.
Oh yeah, I've got
Yeah, Chezi seems to think that people understand modern Hebrew.
It's not modern Hebrew. I'm trying to tell you, it's from Eov.
No, his link is to a show.
Okay.
Yeah. His link. I mean, I was supposed to understand that. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. I'm asking Chezi to come up and summarize it for me, if it's of any importance.
What time is it in Eretz Israel?
10:17.
Which means it's around midnight in Iran.
Yeah.
How are you?
CTV just started his live broadcast.
Who just started his live broadcast?
2CTV is an Iranian.
Yeah. In London.
Yeah.
I think his name is Mahyar.
Could be.
Yep.
And he's talking about the coalition: US, UK, Israel, UAE, and Jordan. Okay, but that's enough of him.
This is a puppy.
Yeah. And he says all his teeth has come out already, so
Pretty much, yeah, I think so.
he is a mature puppy.
Kind of. Yeah. Yes, Mahyar. Not Meir, Mahyar.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about, Andrew?
I don't know. I don't have much to talk about.
Central Bank? The Fed? Electricity? How much you hate the unions?
Oh yeah. They still haven't accepted any apprentices. What can you do?
How's your girlfriend?
Non-existent.
That doesn't work right.
I am trying to put solar panels on this roof.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
For money.
Because his parents are paying him.
Okay.
Yeah. Also,
you're not going to save any money by that. You'll not realize.
It's California. You might, the government subsidies might.
They will definitely.
Yeah, might more than pay for it, because all California does is take money from the very rich and give it to the mostly rich. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a good way to get experience.
Don says, news says the Dems are going to block all funding for DHS because of Minneapolis. The Dems are cruising for a bruising, I'm pretty sure. I think that what they're doing is likely to lose them the midterms. But
I think this is already lost.
What is already lost?
The midterms.
For the Democrats or for the Republicans?
For the Democrats, I think.
I am not positive of that. I don't think, I mean, I have not seen the information. But if Trump gains gains in I mean, I understand the calculation the Democrats are making. I think they're making a mistake, but I also think anybody who's confident about which way the midterms is going probably doesn't know the United States as well as he thinks he does.
I do not know the United States at all.
Then I would not say that the midterms. The midterms could go in any direction. I could see the Democrats gaining, I don't know, maybe even 30, 40 seats. And I could see the Republicans gaining 10 or 20 seats. And I could see anything in the middle. And even that is with a 90% confidence, which is saying absolutely nothing. If it's a high turnout election for the Democrats and a low turnout election for the Republicans, and the Democratic gerrymandering is successful, then the Democrats could sweep the House. I haven't even looked at the map for the Senate. I don't even know what the map for the Senate looks like. I don't know who's up for election. And I could also see if it becomes a high turnout election for Republicans and the Democratic base is split or unhappy with their party as they seem to be, the Republicans could gain seats in the House, which would be shocking. And I haven't even looked at the map of the Senate, so I have no clue. The one person I usually pay attention to for reasonable discussion, her name is Amy Walter. She is a Democrat, but she is one who tends to be grounded in facts, and her predictions regarding the House and the Senate tend to be within the margin of error. So I'm not sure what she's saying.
And she hasn't made a claim.
Amy Walter, you know that she hasn't, or you're asking?
No, I'm asking.
I haven't even looked. I think this far back, she only has, the Cook Political Report, which she does. Amy Walter. Here, let's ask Grok. Grok. What has Amy Walter said most recently about the midterm elections coming up? Does the Cook Political Report have projections already? Amy Walter hasn't commented yet because she tends to be a wise person and she tends to not speak without information, which is why I go and listen to her. Cook political reports. Yeah, I mean, it's Grok is still looking, but there doesn't look like they've said much. Yeah, I'm surprised Grok is thinking so much. Yep, three key article on 3 key questions remains behind paywall. Yeah, at this point, Cook political report generally everything's behind the paywall, and in a January 2026 column titled 3 Key Questions for 2026, she argued that the midterms outcome will hinge less on isolated news events and more on the answers of 3 fundamental questions. Details on the exact questions are not fully available in public summaries, but they center on economic performance and partisan strategies. The Cook Political Report has released initial ratings and projections for the 2026 midterms as follows. House, 189 solid Democrat seats, 8 likely Democrat seats, 14 seats lean Democrat, 18 seats lean toss-up, 4 seats lean Republican, 16 seats like a Republican, and 186 seats solid Republican, which, I mean, that's 36 seats either way up for grabs. Senate, Republicans are defending 22, Democrats 13. 4 of them are toss-ups. So which ones are two toss-ups each? So each, it's possible for each of them to gain 2 seats, which means the Democrats don't have a serious chance of. They don't really have a serious. I mean, yeah. If no, they don't really have a serious chance of. I mean, it would be an upset for them to take the Senate. Doesn't really look like they have a chance to take the Senate. But yeah, the House is up for grabs, at least according to Cook Political Report, and they're the ones I trust the most. So that's that. The Senate is going to stay Republican, which already, like the Democrats, so they have no chance of taking Congress fully. I agree.
And we are going to have elections this year as well.
Those will be fun. How many elections do you think you'll have this year?
Well, again, you're asking me. Depends which poll you cast. But I think we have commented about that already. Whatever the elections result will be, they will not remain undisputed. Ron Barak already said that the next government should cancel all the laws enacted by the current government.
And Aaron Barak is Melech Israel, so
yeah. So
So if the elections don't do it, his underlings in the Supreme Court will. I'm asking seriously. I don't know, but it seems like it might be a possibility for me.
it's all tied up.
All tied
It's
up.
all tied up on the American question.
What's the American question?
Well, as we said, it's the American president that is going to decide this showdown in the end.
Aha. Well, Trump seems to like Bibi more than he likes Aaron Barak. As far as I know.
Yeah.
Is Aaron Barak good friends with Trump in ways I wouldn't know?
No, I don't think so.
I somehow doubt Trump even knows Aaron Barak exists. Possible?
Possible, yeah, because he knows the principle. He recognized the general principle. The details are not important. Doesn't the name of a person or it's the same principle everywhere when you're going to looking at Poland or the UK. It's always the same principle.
I'm going to ask Grok again. Has Donald Trump ever met with Aaron Barak or mentioned him directly? The search, no, there's no evidence that Donald Trump has ever met with Aaron Barak or mentioned him directly by name.
Mm-hmm. So Trump addressed the president, and the president gave a speech in Davos.
Mm.
And he said that, he's not going to make any statement. And he said that the independence of the Israeli system should be kept. On the other hand, the internal trust in the system must be maintained. Hinting that Israeli public is losing trust in their own system. But he's not going to make any decision or make any movement. I don't think so.
I can't imagine him pardoning Netanyahu. That wouldn't be the role that the Israeli president has generally played over the past 80 years.
Yeah. So our president is of the Davos crowd.
Even if he wasn't, I mean, even if somebody like Moshe Katsav was still president, I don't think he would have pardoned Netanyahu.
Moshe Katsav has come to a sticky end.
Yes, I'm ignoring his sticky end.
No, it means that he wasn't friends with the right people.
Oh, of course. Look, when you're not Ashkenazi, you're never friends with all the right people. So, sorry to bring the ethnicity into it, but I think it's relevant.
And Moshe Katsav is not an example, but there were other presidents, but never mind.
I'm not a huge fan of Aryeh Deri. but I sincerely believe that Aryeh Deri didn't do anything that Yitzhak Rabin and Ariel Sharon and Bibi Netanyahu uh, also did. But
Why do you mention it? Aryeh Deri is clean. He's completely clean.
he went to jail.
Yes, he went to jail, so he served his time and he went out of jail. Once you get out of jail, it's a clean slate. Okay, so he went into jail, went out of jail, and now he's clean.
Okay, I'm not sure. I mean, if you're saying that, you are the chief rabbi of Tel Aviv. I'm just not sure that everybody in the cafes of North Tel Aviv.
No, they wouldn't agree.
Okay, that's what I thought.
He's, as I said, he's not friend with the right people.
Oh yeah, I know that, and that's. I think that's why he went to jail.
That's not the problem. The problem is what happened when he got out of jail and he got reelected.
He got elected. That was a problem.
Yeah.
But what? I haven't been actually following. I've been trying to ignore the Medina if I can.
No.
Of course I can, but I've been trying.
You can ignore it because again, the situation is unpredictable. So getting into the details will not help you.
There's a reason why most of my information is about 20 years old.
Sorry?
There's a reason why most of my information is about 20 years old about Israel. You may have noticed.
We were reading the chapter on Thursday about Eliyahu going to heaven.
Aha. On the chariots of fire.
On the chariot. Nearby, I mean, there were chariots of fire involved in the story.
Yes.
Not very clear how he did the trick. And as the text goes, the chariot of fire were separating Eliyahu from Elisha. I mean, not. And then Elisha cries, Avi, Avi, Rechev Israel ufarashav. And we asked Rabbi Yosef to explain this chapter for us. Well, he did a very good job. It's very hard to really explain this chapter. He went as far as one can go. And what he pointed out to me, first of all, the fact that the main function of the chariots of fire was to separate between the two. And that cry, Rechev Israel ufarashav, you don't really know why. Why was that the statement? Why was who was called Rechev Israel ufarashav? Translating Israel's chariot and horsemen. And then it dawned on me what this chapter is all about. But I have to add something else, because Elisha now, the event happens on the on the east bank of the Jordan. And Elisha has to cross the river again to the west bank of the Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
and he has to split the water again because Eliyahu split the water first time when they moved from to the far bank, and now to return to Israel, Elisha needs to split the water again, and seems that he had to do it twice, and first time that he didn't succeed, and he was sort of crying something like, "Where is this God?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to, what could he mean? He could mean, well, is this God only on the West Bank, or or only on the East Bank, or on which bank of the Jordan does God exist?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you ask where is God when you're standing on the Jordan trying to cross, this is what you mean. And then it dawned on me what this whole chapter is about.
Yeah.
What was separating Elisha from Eliyahu
Mm-hmm.
is exactly what's separating you from Chezi.
Yeah.
And this is Rechev Yisrael Ufarashav.
Uh-huh. I think I hear. So what's the answer?
Oh, there is. Well, I said we're just starting to read the second part of Kings, so I don't know what the answer is. I mean, this is what I think that this is what the book of Kings is about. But is this a God of the left bank or of the right bank, or the East bank or the West bank? I think this is the main question of the book.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We haven't read all through the book yet.
I would say that's the main question of the entirety of Tanakh. Is the God of Israel also the God of the Gentiles? And I think the clear answer is, of course he is. But then there are all kinds of messianists, whether they be Christians or Zionists, who never understood that. Let's answer Don's question. How much of a factor does many younger Americans' bad attitude about Israel affect Israel's supposed plan to phase out reliance on military aid? So let me explain something about the military aid to Israel. Israel has for many years gotten $3 billion a year in military aid. $3 billion a year used to be a much, much larger part of Israel's GDP than it is today. And the important thing about that was not the money, but how the money could be spent. The money could be spent buying military supplies, armaments from um, the United States. The fact is that today, $3 billion is a much smaller percentage of the Israeli economy than it used to be. And it's a much smaller part of the US budget than it used to be. Because $3 billion isn't what $3 billion used to be worth. And Israeli military technology has advanced significantly to the point where Israel is now selling military technology to the United States and other countries, which means that increasingly funneling weaponry, military technology, and money to the state of Israel through the US government is more and more of a political liability than it's worth. And that's why it's not a supposed plan to phase out reliance on US military aid, while it's usually very difficult to zero out a budget. The fact is that the US military aid to Israel has increasingly become more of a political liability than it's worth, which is why I think it is actually going to be zeroed out soon, if not eventually. But Yoav might have different opinions about this.
Slightly. This money is given to Israel under strict the restriction that we can only buy, can only use it to buy weapons in America. So if you're cutting this money to Israel, you're losing jobs in America. Unless you can find something else to do with those weapons. If you have some other buyer, so you can sell some of it to Saudi Arabia. But then nobody will buy it. Well, people will buy it when forced to. And that is happening. Or people will buy it if they see that it is useful. And the only way you can demonstrate it is useful is when Israel is using it, because somehow it doesn't work out that you sell weapons to Saudi Arabia and they manage to demonstrate that it is actually useful.
I mean, you could give it to Ukraine.
Yes, and they don't manage to demonstrate that it's actually useful. So it's not good PR to sell it to Saudi Arabia or to Ukraine. But that depends who's your other customers. If you have no other customers, then you don't need much of the day will come when you just be able to sell all these weapons just to Europe, because Europe wants to arm itself against the big frightening Russian bear, and you can force Europe to buy your gas or your chips or your weapons. So at that point of time, you really don't need Israel. I'm not sure everybody understands what I'm saying, but never mind.
I understand what you're saying.
No, yeah, I know, but you're smart. Not everybody on the internet is as smart as you are.
Yeah. Andrew unmuted because he has something to say.
Don't worry. I try not to get into politics. I think I just think in general America has cultural issues more than political issues.
Politics is downstream from culture. Andrew
Yes, I
Breitbart
agree.
taught
Yes,
us
I
that.
agree. Yes, I agree. I'm supposed to be asleep.
Well, when do you have to be at work?
Monday at night.
Okay, so you got plenty of time.
Yeah.
What are you eating?
Meatballs.
Eat it first. Meatballs.
Mhm.
Swedish meatballs? Chinese meatballs?
Meatballs.
Italian meatballs.
Mm-hmm.
Adam says, see, we have people watching on X. That's a new. Yoav is the parting of the water before and after the parting of Elijah and Elisha by the chariots and horses of fire, a chiasm.
What is the chiasm?
Um, Good question. It's supposedly a structure in Jewish literature where things are bookended, right?
The shape of the letter X.
What
Chiasm
are
is the shape
you?
of the things crossing over.
Uh,
I think.
I always heard kind of like a U shape, but but
Oh,
you
yeah,
have or
yeah,
a V shape.
yeah. Okay,
And yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of, Father Eric. Costco meatballs. And I'm guessing that's actually true
sorry, how did you get to Costco meatballs?
because Andrew was eating Costco meatballs.
Okay. So, yes, it is some kind of a chiastic structure, but it is not forced on the story because the first question why you didn't need to cross the Jordan. This is a good question. But given that you had to cross the Jordan, then you obviously you have to cross it twice, there and back. So the whole story gets a chiastic structure because of the need. You go to a point and you come back from it, and Eliyahu does the job going forward, and Elisha is doing the job going back. And the good question that somebody asked, why does it has to be on the other side of the Jordan? Well, I think Moses is buried on the other side of the Jordan. I think this is where you bury your prophets. I don't really know why.
So, as Jan God put it, chiasms are cool. Cool are chiasms. Very clever. Clever very.
Yeah,
And uh, and Andrew has decided to be sarcastic. I am not a Copt. I am not an Italian or a Costco member, but I'll eat their meatballs. You are a Copt, though, as far as anybody knows. Adam says, the Jordan is crossed twice. The waters are separated both times. I suppose that was interesting then when you pointed out the chariots and horses of fire separating Elijah and Elisha. It is another separation.
yeah. As I said, this chapter is full of riddles. All of it is very hard to understand from beginning to end. Just the story. They start from the Gilgal. What have they been doing in Gilgal? We don't know. And then Eliyahu says to Elisha, "Well, you stay here. I want to go all alone." Elisha says, "No, I'm coming with you." Now, why separate? It's about separation. Why separate? So we don't know what Eliyahu wants to separate. Okay, and then they get to Beth El, and they meet some other prophets there. And the prophet says to Elisha, well, you know that Eliyahu is going to go up to the heaven today. And he says, yes, of course I know. Shut up about it. Why shut up about it? Why shut up? That's a very strange. First, how come everybody knows? Second, why shut up? Shut up about what? What is the secret? And then just to emphasize, it happens again when they get to Jericho. Again, Eliyahu says to Elisha, don't come with me. And Elisha said, I am going to come with you. And they go to Jericho, and the prophets there are telling him, well, you know that Eliyahu is going to go up to the heavens. And Elisha says, well, of course I know, but shut up about it. It's written upon reading in that chapter.
Unlike any other chapter of the Bible at all. Oh, sorry.
And apropos shut up, my wife, which is going to sleep, told me to shut up, so I'm going to be quiet.
Your wife is excuse me, is an important person.
Yep.
Chase Goodwin, why don't you put in the chat how you found my channel and what you want to talk about, and we'll decide if I'm going to let you porn bomb my stream or not. I know how he felt. Many times talking about a thing just makes it worse. I saw this link on X. Yeah, that's usually not a very good way. And I wanted to discuss the prevalence of fascism in America. There is no prevalence of fascism in America, so we won't have to discuss things stupid people say. Sorry. Yeah, but this is my channel, and I don't usually add stupid people to the conversation unless I'm trying to have fun. But there's enough to discuss right now. Monarchy is good, he says. Wow, Tayo's here. Tayo, how you doing? Been a while. Okay, kid. I have no idea what any of this means. It has to do with the Catholic Church, I guess. Yes, this is not a platform for free speech, my friend. This is not a platform for free speech. This is my private channel.
He has an ultra kill profile though.
What's ultra kill?
Oh my gosh. It's okay.
Is it another Zoomer thing?
It's okay. You're ancient. You're best friends with Melchizedek. You know, I'll forgive you.
Methuselah, or Methuselah, as you Americans say it. Wow, he was genuinely on Epstein Island, which tells me yet another reason I don't want to have him on my channel. Nobody who's genuinely been on Epstein Island is allowed on my channel. All of them are banned. Every single one. I find myself asking, what's X a lot these days when younger people talk to me? Yeah, that's what Grok's good for. Honestly, I don't know if I would be able to stay on Twitter without Grok.
Well, I just answered. X is chiasm.
Clean the gene pool? It's amazing how a 5-month-old puppy never gets tired. Never, ever, ever gets tired. Ever. Am I going to be forced to actually let Chase Goodwin on? But he might just porn bomb us.
Well, he should post a picture. The rule is that you have to show your face before you go up.
Yeah, Chase, turn on your camera. I'll consider it. Did he turn on his camera? I didn't see. No. I have no camera. Yeah, sorry. You should probably like spend more time on trying to have a camera than arguing about fascism. It must suck to be so shy. Well, Alicia tears his own clothes. This is another separation. Or am I stretching the theme too far? There's no such thing as stretching the theme too far.
Yes, this is all chapter is about separation from beginning to end. But the question is, what is a metaphor of separation between what and what? And that is this is why Elisha is telling everybody to shut up, because all the prophets understand the story. The prophets in Bethel and the prophets in Jericho, they really understand the story. And this is why Eliyahu doesn't want Elisha to follow him, because Elisha is soft. When you convince him, when you talk, you can talk him into revealing the secret. And Eliyahu is afraid that he will spill the beans. So there is a secret here, but all the prophets, the 100 prophets in the story, and nobody's talking. We're waiting for Eliyahu to come back to solve this for us.
Father Eric, it's Sunday. How come you're watching? Oh, you must be snowed in. Yeah, you must be really snowed in. Hold on, you live in Los Angeles? We should meet up. Although I doubt very much that that's actually your address. I wonder what that is. No snow there. Huh. Interesting. I heard the East Coast was, well, you're not the East Coast, you're the Midwest. But I figured if there's snow anywhere, it'll be in North Dakota. It's super cold. Does it get too cold to snow? Oh, apparently it does. Apparently it does. Huh. I did not know it could get too cold to snow. Really cold air has no moisture in it. Makes sense. Yeah, I can't imagine Yoav playing video games. Do you play video games? Not even Civilization?
I used to play it.
Civilization?
Yeah, I used to play it.
Yeah, Civilization's your type of game.
Decades ago.
Yeah. I remember Civilization decades ago. I think it was more fun decades ago than it is now.
Yeah.
But I was also much younger back then.
Anyway, that was before the TLC.
So since
it is Nintendo Switch.
Since I got diagnosed with sleep apnea, I got invited to do a study um, this morning where I spent an hour and a half in an MRI machine. It's the first time I've ever had an MRI. And then they gave me a bunch of cognitive tests, which I was surprised to do so poorly on. But yeah, they were difficult cognitive tests. They also gave me a DVD with my MRI results in it, but apparently I need special software to actually see anything. But I have pictures of my brain now. Are you going to play the bass clarinet while your wife is trying to sleep?
No, it's 11 o'clock and I'm not going to play the bass clarinet, but have you heard me playing the bass clarinet?
I don't think so.
I think it was Friday. I mean, it is, yeah. How is it called, the channel? The one that was broadcasting together with Paul.
Grail Country? I don't know.
No.
With Paul Vanderplay?
Yeah, the one that was competing with him.
Somebody was competing with Paul Vanderplay.
Yes.
How dare they?
Yeah, well, I'm drawing a blank because it's a new channel. Let me see if I can see it. Yesterday.
You can try to bite me all you want, but I have you in a position where you can't do it. I have you in a position where you are incapable of biting me. You can bite your own tail then. Andrew, have you ever used a DVD? Probably.
Maybe sometimes that I can't remember.
Okay. Cosmic navel gazing with Regal and friends. Let's see if I can post a link. Copy. Going here. Where are you? Where are we? Here. Paste. Send. Okay. I did it. Okay. That was the navel gazing channel.
You're going to whatchamacallit me? Copyright strike me if I.
No. Well, I mean, he's a friend of us from the TLC. He's not going to copy strike you.
Yeah, you sure about that?
No, he's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. Okay. Let me see if I can find where Yoav shows up. There's Yoav. Yoav. Do I see Yoav with a clarinet? Why am I not seeing Yoav with a clarinet?
I don't know.
Ah, there's Yoav with a clarinet. Around 40. Let's put Yoav with a clarinet
Exactly.
onto the screen. And
go.
Well, first I have to make sure that it's not at 1.5 speed. It's not. Oh no, hold on. That's not it. That's it.
Well, I haven't tried the bass clarinet yet.
Oh.
That's what I need to try at the moment.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we're a little sound check.
Yeah.
Um, woo! That actually sounded really good. The
Oh.
tone, came
Yeah.
through lovely.
Yeah, I guess that my microphone is good with the basses.
Yeah, it's good with the basses.
Yeah, so I can try something else.
Yeah.
Let's try something else.
How many? Yeah, go for it.
How many do I have? How much time do you have?
What is that song?
Don't recognize it?
I'm afraid I do. What is it?
The Song of the Volga Man.
Aha. I didn't know the name. It sounded familiar.
Got a little audience clapping here. In the
Yeah,
old chat.
I waited patiently till Paul starting his show, so only the diehards will remain.
So Yoav, when did you start playing instruments? Wind instruments? Or
This is
really
the-
any
Let me guess. You're going to tell the story of your brother and
Yeah.
inviting
Okay.
you to join the symphony and then dropping out.
Yeah, so no need to repeat it now. It's of no interest to the crowd here.
Don't tell Mark about that. He'll have an aneurysm. Okay. If Yoav plays Kenny G on the bass clarinet right now, it will definitely trigger the copyright strike algorithm because it will be so accurate and sound the same before his wife leaves. If Yoav would have played bagpipes, I would have cried on Amazing Grace. Okay. Hello, Kirk. How did that sound so good on the microphone? I would not have expected that. You know?
Yeah.
Clarinet sounds like caramel. Does it?
Yeah, I mean, this microphone is the cheapest on the market. So the bass clarinet does have an amazing voice in real life.
I have no idea what a nitty naughty is, but I'm guessing it's the thing that she had in her hand. Blues Brothers. Okay. Don't tell his wife that.
So that was me fiddling while Ron burns.
I think Rome is about the only city that's not burning, though. China seems to be getting the most out of all the chaos. Oh,
China
no.
is running out of markets.
I'm guessing China would much prefer that the Ayatollah stay. StreamYard link again. I don't think Andrew plays any instruments.
I briefly tried to learn the piano.
So did I. And then my cousin, who teaches the piano and was like, anybody can learn how to play, heard me play and said, yeah, you're never going to be able to play.
So I'm waiting Mr. Panda person to arrive.
I got my copy of the Mandaean Book of John back.
Okay. There's Kirk. Hello, Kirk.
Kirk sees a Just Chatting stream. Kirk loves it. I was gonna say, Yoav playing that saxophone reminded me that it
Bass
wasn't
clarinet.
bass clarinet. Sorry, I'm not a musical person, but either way, it fits me into the fact that I've heard that many of the well-known blues musicians in America back in the day were of Jewish heritage, right? Jews
I
and
didn't
blues.
hear a word you said. Say that again.
A lot of the blues players in America used to be Jewish.
Sure. I mean, so playing in a band was considered, well, you have to have enough money to own an instrument and to learn how to play it. But it was also considered low-class work that a fine, upstanding white Anglo-Saxon Protestant would never take money for. So for a very long time, the only people who were who played music professionally were mostly Jews and black people. And black people were not allowed into a lot of the classier places where people would go to listen to music. So basically, the profession was left open to Jews because a decent, upstanding white person would never lower themselves to a career of being a musician. Lucky, please don't eat my shoe. No. 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 No eating shoes. So yeah.
I wonder. I find it interesting that music was not considered a highbrow profession. That's because it seems like it's the opposite now, that we associate celebrity culture with music playing.
It's true of a lot of things. Being an actor used to be synonymous with being a prostitute.
Man, what did I jump into?
We were talking about why Jews were actors and musicians.
Because they were prostitutes?
A lot of them were, yes. About 100 years ago, being a prostitute, being an actor, or being a musician was a Jewish profession because a upstanding member of the white Anglo-Saxon profession would never do such a thing.
So Father Eric says that actors are professional liars.
It's true.
Is it a sin in Catholicism to be an actor then?
Pretty sure not. Lucky, no. You can't eat my shoe.
Nowadays, if you're a professional liar, you manage a startup.
Speaking of that, I think we have a meeting. No, it's on the 2nd of February, so next week. Yeah.
So you said earlier that if you've been on Epstein Island, you're not allowed to be on your stream, right, Jacob?
Correct.
Well, I might have to recuse myself.
You've been on Epstein Island?
Yeah.
How'd you get to Epstein Island?
I snorkeled my way there and got up on shore and
Lucky.
and then snorkeled my way back off.
No.
Just to say that I have.
When was this?
It's a fun party trick. A couple years ago.
Wow. Sounds like a fun party trick. Is it that close? I mean, it's close to the Bahamas, right? Or something like that?
It's over off of St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. And so I happened to be visiting there, not Epstein Island, but the U.S. Virgin Islands. And it's because it's an island, it's relatively easy to stay on the water. So as I was like looking off the balcony out into the distance, there was an island out there, just a small little island that had like some lights on. And I don't know if I had binoculars or something, but I could see a structure that looked, I was like, that's a weird looking structure out there on that island. I had no idea what that was. I had no idea what I was looking at. And I don't remember if I looked it up on the internet or what, but I was like, oh my God, that's Epstein Island. And then as fate would have it, we went snorkeling later, and it's actually one of the best spots for snorkeling in the Virgin Islands is little St. James, I think it's called. And so the boat takes you right up and you get a good view, like just off the I call it the coast or whatever, and then you snorkel.
So are you saying that the Epstein Island is part of the Virgin Islands?
Yeah, it is. It's one of the it's right in the U.S. Virgin Islands. I think he owns two. There's another one called Christmas Island, I think, that he owned that doesn't have anything really there. Then there's a little boat harbor where people go and hang out and they just like anchor their sailboats. Yep.
Also, I'm confused because I thought I've heard that the Weinstein brothers were on the Epstein Islands, or at least Eric was. Am I wrong?
No, Eric's never been to Epstein Island.
Okay.
Eric mentioned visiting his home in New York, and he's talked about that extensively many times before. And Father Eric might not be wrong about this. Jonathan needs to be less interesting for his own good.
Yep. I doubt I'll be named at any dossiers or anything related to this.
I'm wondering if Lucky went and found another shoe which he's chewing on somewhere else. Lucky? Lucky. I am going to have to go find that. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
So, Jonathan, since you're the only one unmuted, how have you been doing?
I've been doing great.
Okay, that's good. I've been doing great as well.
I'm glad to hear that. Did you take your actuary test yet?
So I've actually decided I'm not gonna take the actuarial exam because I was told that I don't need to if I'm gonna go into stock portfolio management, and I think
Okay.
it's gonna take, in order to really pass the actuarial exam, I would have to learn a lot more math than is necessary for the career I want.
Okay, so it's overkill.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, everything I've heard about the actuarial exam would seem to indicate that it's like super advanced math that I don't think I'll need.
Just to throw some tech stocks into a client portfolio.
Yeah, I don't think I mean, I'm gonna need like probability theory and calculus and all that, but I'm not gonna need the stuff that you're gonna need to be an actuary.
Got it. You're gonna be a portfolio manager, like a quant, or like what kind of portfolio management?
That I actually haven't decided. I mean, I was thinking of working for like a hedge fund,
Oh yeah.
but yeah.
You are going to have to take calculus eventually.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, calculus, you know, I'm definitely gonna have to take calculus.
Correct. And you're in college already, so hurry up.
You don't need calculus to run a hedge fund.
Well, I'm not gonna run a hedge fund. I'm gonna work for one.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, to run a hedge fund, you
Oh,
need
you're gonna be the guy where he says
schmoozing.
my quantitative. That's gonna be you.
Yeah.
Did you ever see The Big Short, Kirk?
No, but
Oh
I've
my
heard of
God.
it. Is it a good movie?
Oh, it's one of the best. If you don't like that movie, then you shouldn't go into finance.
Yeah, I'd probably like it. I mean, you know,
You watch it,
Jacob
Kirk.
actually,
If you don't like it, I'll give you $1. I'll give you a
Jacob,
tether.
I would imagine knows quite a bit about at least personal finance because didn't you work in insurance?
I worked in insurance, but I never did personal finance. And most of the people who do insurance and personal finance are crooks.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that Bernie Madoff never actually invested any of the money? It just sat there. He just got people to give him the money, and then he just spent it on, and didn't even spend all of it, just some of it.
Yeah.
So he didn't. I mean, he might have known calculus, but not much good it did him.
Listen, people can be very, very intelligent, but if they don't know how to use their intelligence for good, then what can I say? I mean,
That's fair. The guy's name was Madoff.
Yeah.
I mean, what more proof do you need that God runs the world?
Yeah. Yeah.
The movie that where Robert De Niro plays him is actually pretty good too, Kirk. If you want to, you should probably bone up on your frauds and hedge fund malfeasance if you're going to get into that world.
yeah, I don't watch many movies. The last movie I remember watching was The Running Man, but like, yeah,
Wow.
I don't watch many movies.
That's
you probably could take your
Schwarzenegger one?
series 6 and 7 right now. Have you considered
Series
taking
6
your series 6 and 7?
What's that?
Look it up. You're going to need it if you're going to be a portfolio manager of any type.
Okay.
Or your Series 6, 7.
Uh,
Sorry, I've got kids that age.
yeah. Yeah. So one of the things we do a lot in therapy groups is go around and have everyone say how they're feeling on a scale of 1 to 10. And every once in a while, somebody says 6, 7, and then the 19-year-olds all lose their mind because 6-7.
I don't think
I
that'll
mean,
last much longer.
therapy and psychology in general are pretty relevant for finance, right? And economics, behavioral economics.
Yes and no. I mean, psychology can be relevant for everything, um, or nothing.
Yeah.
But pop psychology is just poison for everything.
Yeah.
And
I mean, pop psychology is poison, but like the work of like Kahneman Tversky on prospect theory and stuff like seems like it has influenced how economists model decision making.
yeah, one of my little discussions with Professor Marcus has been I feel like a lot of economists do not generally feel like they need to um, review the relevant literature in the fields that they start talking about um, before they start talking about it in economics terms. And that just seems really weird to me.
I mean, I agree, and I think the solution to that is people not speaking about things they don't know about.
That would be nice. But at the very least, I would expect um, economics peer-reviewed journals to expect some citation from a subject matter expert in the relevant field, but apparently that's not expected in economics. You can simply cite other economics works, and that just seems weird to me.
I mean, isn't that part of the broader replication crisis in the sciences in general?
Um, yes and no. Part of the problem is the fragmentation of various disciplines, but you oftentimes there are all kinds of journals. For example, the Journal of Law and Economics is actually a pretty big journal in law, but apparently it's not a big journal in economics. For some reason, economists particularly feel that they don't necessarily have to have multiple disciplines and interdisciplinary things when they talk about, like, it's bad enough law, economics, both of them are very generalist fields, and they they're fragmented enough. But when you start talking about economics of law, and you have zero knowledge and zero references in the legal literature, that's just astonishingly bad, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree. I was under the impression because of conversations I've had with Mark before, Mark Lefebvre, where he's talked about the replication crisis being bad even in like physics.
Yeah, Mark Lefebvre is not a good source of information.
Okay, fair enough.
Burn, dude.
I didn't mean it as a burn.
Make TI calculators great again?
Yes,
Texas Instrument.
Oh,
Back when I was your age, if you wanted to take a math class, you had to buy a TI calculator.
Yeah. Unless you're wise and then you bought an HP calculator, which were much better because there were reverse Polish notation calculators.
I don't remember what kind of graphing calculator I had. It might not have been a TI.
Graphing calculators is, wow, you're young. Amazingly, the tradition of RPN calculators is going on. There is a Swiss company called Swiss Micro,
Mhm.
who still builds them, and I have no idea who buys them anymore. But there is a market still.
I think I had a TI-89. Yeah, the TI-89 is a graphic calculator, isn't it? I think I had a TI-89. My dad used to show us his TI-89 graphing calculator. I think that's what I had. Yeah, looks familiar. My dad used to show me his old slide rules from college. I'm pretty sure I've told you my father went to Technion.
Hello is about as much as I used to do with my calculator. You know, you could make it say words like hell and shell.
And boobs.
Nope. Thank you, Kirk. Yep, the old 8008
Yep.
5. Or you got to do it backwards and do it upside down, right?
Yep.
Yep. Yep. My high school math did not require a calculator. I was, for whatever reason, not that talented in math. Geometry, yes. Algebra, no. So I never got very far. When we got to trigonometry, it was just like hit these buttons. I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, I never like trig always kind of got difficult for me. And then when we got to calculus, they taught us, okay, so this is a Riemann sum, and a Riemann sum is an integral, and we're not going to actually walk you through why because that's too complicated. And that's when I lost all interest in math because I liked understanding like all the way how math became. Although I guess I never really knew why Pythagorean theorem actually worked. But yeah.
Yeah, once you hit calculus, you learn to stop delving into the theory and
Just
memorize
solve the
memorize.
problem. Solve the problem. Yeah.
I mean, I don't like memorization techniques in general for how much they've taken over the education system. In fact, so
Good
I
luck
don't
with
know
it,
how.
Kirk. Good
What was
luck,
that?
buddy.
Yeah, it's actually the opposite, Kirk. Now memorization is far, far less of a part of the education system than it used to be. And to some extent, I have to say, I think people aren't memorizing enough.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I could have been mistaken, but I was thinking that a lot of education focuses more on memorization rather than true understanding.
It used to be a lot worse.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it used
yeah.
to be.
Well, because standards were higher, and that's why. And then you had to memorize more shit. And now you don't have to. Now you don't. I mean, Latin, it's a dead language.
Yeah, you used to have to memorize a lot more than kids do nowadays.
I haven't even
It's
memorized my
amazing
Hebrew
how
alphabet.
little kids know.
I gotta memorize the Hebrew alphabet.
I did that.
Aleph, bet.
Did you have a jar of honey right next to you, or?
That's only for 3-year-olds.
Hey, whatever motivates you, right? Like, I mean, there's reward and punishment.
I think operant conditioning is not like an effective technique for education.
Mm,
You'd be surprised, Kirk.
yeah, look into the work of Roland Fryer. He's actually kind of disproven that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, modern education theory is a lot of bullshit.
Well, so I mean, I would say probably I'm most sympathetic to a position of teaching kids to understand, but also like teaching them without like, letting them be little doing whatever they want. So like there has to be mediation from the teacher, but like teaching understanding is more important than teaching memorization of facts.
There are some facts you just have to know, and the fact is the vast majority of people have an IQ under 115. So by definition, 85% of people have less than 115 IQ. Someone with less than a 15 IQ, 115 IQ, less than a 115 IQ can't really understand probably even high school geometry.
Okay, fine. I may have been overly optimistic. I was just
People generally are, because our education system has convinced people that everyone can go to college and everyone should go to college, and it's like, nope, actually you should have an IQ over 115 to go to college, and if you don't have an IQ over 115, you should not be going to college.
You should be an electrician.
Yeah, and let's Darwin take care of the rest.
Yeah. With your smarts, Andrew, you can be the surviving electrician. Everyone else will get shocked, and you'll be like, "Well, I'm the only one left."
Oh, it's too late for that.
I know. I heard. Well, super shocked. Like Darwin Award, shocking.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about my friend who won an honorary Darwin Award?
No.
Let me see if I can find the letter. It might still be there. Here it is. I actually was one of the original recipients of this email. I actually got this email from a high school friend of mine. Let's make it big. One cool dude. 2000, personal accounts. June 1998. A letter from Michael. And I could tell you his last name, but I won't. My senior year of college opened with the customary research projects, grad school applications, and the like. But that all changed 2 months ago. Some of you may have heard rumors of some bizarre accident that I was involved in. Here's the truth, unabridged, for those who actually want to know. Now, let me tell you something about Michael. When we were in high school, Michael wanted to go to MIT. And Michael decided that he didn't need to apply to any other school, but his parents made him pick a backup school, which he did, which, of course, he was definitely going to get into because it was not a very good school. Guess where Michael ended up going to school? Not MIT. Okay. In the second week of school, the Society of Physics students held a roughly annual welcome back party. As tradition dictates, we made our own ice cream with liquid nitrogen, 77 Kelvin, as a refrigerant and aerator. We spilled a little liquid nitrogen onto a table and watched the tiny little drops dance around. Someone asked, why does it do that? That may have been the point of no return. As is traditionally my role, I answered that the nitrogen evaporates at the surface of the table, which creates a cushion of air for the drop to sit on, and thermally insulates the drop, which minimizes further evaporation. That's why a drop dances around without boiling, without touching the table, and without spreading out like a pool of water. Then I continued. I mentioned that the very same principle makes it possible to dip one's wet hand into molten lead or drink liquid nitrogen without injury. I had done the latter several years earlier in a cryogenics lab and remembered the physics of how it worked. Naturally, those around me were skeptical. It will freeze your whole body. Remember Terminator 2? But I was sure of myself because this was Michael. I had done it before and I believed in the physics behind it. So I unhesitatingly poured myself a glass and took a shot. Simple. Swallow, blow smoke out my nose, impress everyone. Within 2 seconds, I collapsed to the floor, unable to breathe, or indeed do anything except feel intense pain. The ambulance arrived, the police arrived, the journey to the hospital, the attempt to explain to baffled ER staff how something like this could happen. Then I passed out. I woke up the next morning connected to beeping machines. It turned out that, in accordance with popular belief, you really should not drink liquid nitrogen. Yes, we did call him Nitro Mike for a while after that. I subsequently learned a few things about liquid nitrogen. While you can safely hold it in your mouth and blow neat smoke patterns, you should never, ever swallow. The closed epiglottis prevents the gas from escaping, so expanding gas is forced into your body. And your esophagus naturally constricts around anything inside it. So even though there's a thin protective gas layer, the esophagus will manage to make contact with the liquid nitrogen. I also learned that my memory was flawed. Really, Mike? Really? When I had done the trick 6 years ago, I put it in my mouth and didn't swallow. Over time, that fine line between parlor trick and fatal accident must have blurred. I was badly burnt from epiglottis to stomach bottom. The gas expanded to fill my chest cavity and the pressure collapsed a lung. After what I'm told was a grueling all-night surgery, they removed parts of my stomach and ran my entire digestive system on a machine. I was on a breather for a day until my lung was restored. There are a few considerably uglier details, which I will spare you. They were impressed with my recuperative skills. I could breathe on my own after a few days. I could sit up in bed after a week and was walking and eating in 2. At 8 weeks, I'm virtually healed except for a number of unsightly scars. And there's good news. I am the first documented medical case of a cryogenic ingestion. Read the New England Journal of Medicine. 3 articles are in review now and will be published soon. My little adventure leaves me with the nickname Nitro Mike, a tendency to tell bad physics jokes at department meetings, and an occasional blurb in the school paper. Let's make Mikey drink it. Hey, Mikey likes it. Yeah. I received this email directly from Nitro Mike. Yoav is very impressed.
Wow.
And no, Mike did not change after that.
Just the capability of the human body to recover from anything is amazing.
I'm pretty sure. So here, I'll tell you the other story about Nitro Mike. About a year after he was best man at one of our good friends' wedding, our good friend ended up divorcing his wife because she caught him in bed with his wife. Caught Nitro Mike, his best man, in bed with his wife. That was Nitro Mike.
What about the ugly scars?
Apparently she didn't mind. I don't know.
She put it in her mouth and didn't swallow.
Yeah. Mike.
Wow.
I am not going to dox him. But I do
The
wonder what he's up to.
thankfully the technology that would allow someone to drink liquid nitrogen is also the one that would help that person recover from drinking liquid nitrogen, right? Like they pulled his entrails out and kind of kept him alive. Like, come on, that's next level.
I think this is him. Pretty sure this is him. Yeah, he got his PhD in geophysics. No, this isn't. Is this him? No, this is not. This is somebody else. Okay. So I guess different one. No.
Yoav, my Zero Hedge Premium account has expired. Should I renew it? No, not worth it.
Well, depends how much you like into deep economic analysis, because what is behind the paywall is the deep economic stuff. And I
Yeah.
don't have any patience for it.
Yeah, it's not that great anyway. I don't think.
What's the name of it again? Zero Hedge what?
.com.
ZeroHedge.com. That might be a site. Is that a site that you think I should see if I'm going into finance?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks.
I'll check that out. I'm also
Don't take it too seriously though, and don't read the comments.
I'm planning on and think I'm gonna enroll in a game theory class as well. Although I heard that's pretty difficult.
Game theory?
Yeah.
Ow.
Okay, it's midnight here, and I'm going to turn it to a pumpkin soon, so I'm going to retire.
Good night.
Good
y'all.
night.
Fine
Be well.
talking to you.
Game theory, huh, Kirk? I don't think that should be too hard.
Well, I mean, game theory. I've heard that it's difficult. Like I've heard it uses like advanced mathematical concepts. I mean, I'm okay at math, so I'm not going to say that I would fail it, but like that's why I'm enrolling in it. Or I plan on enrolling in it soon. But like, if I do enroll in the game theory class, I would imagine I'd have to put in quite a bit of effort.
Probably not harder than the LSAT.
I don't know. Is the LSAT difficult?
Yep.
They dumbed it down recently.
How recently?
They took out the logic puzzles section, apparently.
About 20 years ago, I started taking a practice LSAT, and I immediately choked under the time pressure. And so I was like, "Ooh, I'm not prepared for this yet."
So what do you do, Jonathan, again? Like professionally?
Lots of things.
He's a businessman. He's a businessman.
So I'd imagine you're good with numbers.
Business, man.
I would imagine you're good with numbers.
I'm good with spreadsheets.
So they took out the logic section in August 2024.
Oh, okay. That's recent then.
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing. I mean, they're basically trying to remove IQ from law school
Law.
admissions.
It's gonna be bad for law.
Yep. It's already bad for law. Yep.
I mean,
But-
logic, that's like very important for law. If you're going to go into law, you're going to have to understand critical thinking, right?
Yeah, for about when I was in college already, it was considered passe for lawyers to actually use logic. Critical theory, man. Critical theory.
I've noticed people who claim to support critical theory tend to be very uncritical in how they think about things.
Mm-hmm. Or as Peter Thiel and Eric Weinstein joke about, they're just bad at math.
Critical theory is fun though.
It's not completely worthless.
Kind of in the play stupid games, win stupid prizes kind of way.
Yeah, I wish, except too many people are winning not so stupid prizes by being involved in critical theory, including a certain Supreme Court justice who isn't a biologist.
It's hardly a lawyer either, it seems like.
That is precisely the problem. Yep. Yep. Yep.
I believe in intersectionality, though.
I mean, how can you avoid it?
I mean, the theory of intersectionality as it actually was formulated initially by Kimberly Crenshaw is absolutely true in a certain sense. The problem remains that people are stupid. Do any of you have a way of getting past the New York Times stupid paywall? I am not going to pay
It used to be you could just
Wayback Machine.
way back.
yeah.
Sometimes
you
you
do a
lose.
Google
It
cache.
depends
was
on
an
how
old
old
trick.
the article is, but
It came out today.
okay, well, good luck.
Oh,
You have
boy.
been blocked from the New York Times because we suspect that you're a robot.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, you want a VPN? Oh, the Wayback Machine might do it.
Yeah, the Wayback Machine has been blocked because they suspect the Wayback Machine. I usually use archive.ph, but that's not working. And I'm wondering if one of the other archives, but Google will not find you the other archives. CH is China, right?
Don't look at me.
No, it's Switzerland.
What's China? Nope.
A country in Asia.
I meant.
I don't know. What is a Chinese domain? What's their top level domain?
Chinese
know that.
level domain is CN.
Oh yeah. Of course.
Nope. Apparently that doesn't work. Oh well. Maybe archive.ru works. I know archive.in doesn't work. IR, sorry. Nope. Oh well. It is what it is. By the way, I've been playing with AI music. I may never listen to actual music again.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Is it Suno? Were you using that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild. I have it on my to-do list to get into it. I actually wanted to turn all my previous recordings and things into like something legit and see what it does.
I mean, I was shocked at how easily I was able to produce music that's pretty good. Yeah.
I don't think anything can replace Leonard Cohen music for me, at least.
I mean,
you old soul, Kirk.
in terms of originality, maybe not, but part of the fact is that the reason modern music is so bad is people don't actually like music to be too original.
That's not true.
Yeah,
I mean, well, the more originally you get, the more difficult the music gets, the harder it is to get into it, right? But playing with those boundaries are what makes it interesting.
right. But I mean,
I can get down with some Penderecki, but not everybody can do that. You know, it takes time.
A lot of what we like about music. So this is a very short Astral Codex article, which Don is recommending.
Is
I don't
Astral
know if
Codex
it's short enough to read, though.
is Astral Codex? Is that the online rationalist community?
It is definitely one of the hubs of the online rationalist community. Yes.
Did you guys ever read The Last Psychologist?
The Last Psychologist?
No.
No. What's that about?
Google it.
Okay.
It might not be all that relevant anymore. It was a blog during a time when blogs were a thing.
Also, if my memory serves me correctly, the guy who founded Astral Codex, so I think it was originally called Slate Star Codex, and then it changed to Astral Codex, if my memory serves me correctly. And
That's
the guy
right.
who founded it, I'm pretty sure, is that Eliezer Yudkowsky? So he lost his mind.
No, it's Scott Alexander.
Okay.
Who got doxxed by the New York Times, I think. Which is why I can use his name, because everybody knows it now.
Is his argument basically that some people have been traumatized by Trump's election? He makes things a lot longer than he needs to. Just give me the TLDR.
It's it's good reading.
Grok, give me the TLDR. Format. Here's the TLDR core thesis. Modern politics functions like massive trauma machine, inducing PTSD-like symptoms, impaired reasoning, hypervigilance, paranoia, emotional dysregulation, addictive outrage, consumption in large numbers of people, explaining much of today's hyperpartisanship and irrational political behavior. Trauma definition is deflationist and expanding, not limited to classic DSM PTSD, includes any experience of helplessness, victimization that causes strong negative emotion, extends to vicarious collective trauma. Post 2016, trauma and triggered became mainstream political language. Politics creates trauma-like effects, cognitive impairment, paranoia, psychotic-like beliefs, emotional triggers, addictive reenactment, trapped priors mechanism. Trauma locks in negative schemas, priors. The world outgroup is permanently dangerous. Politics does the same. Evidence gets twisted to confirm threat perceptions. Bayesian updating breaks down. Innocuous things become dog whistles or microaggressions. Examples of political trauma. Author's own cancellation experience. Bodily aversion to certain social justice language. Trans people fearing obsessing over bathroom bills in transphobia stories. Leftists feeling collectively traumatized by being stereotyped as pedophiles, Nazis. What? They're not being stereotyped as Nazis. They're being stereotyped as communists. Right-wingers feeling attacked by DEI training or woke culture. Critiques of current trauma framework. DSM boundaries feel arbitrary. They are. Overexpansion risks making people expect trauma from minor events. Self-fulfilling prophecy. This is very true. Media, social platforms profit by maximizing fear, outrage, addiction cycle. That is also true. Implications and suggested attitude. Recognize political discourse as a trauma-generating system. Reduce consumption. Yeah, I have definitely told people to not traumatize themselves with the news. Treat partisan reactions more like trauma symptoms. Triggers avoidance, hypervigilance than reasoned disagreement. Yeah, this is true. No easy fix. Ancient societies used heroic narratives to prevent warrior PTSD. Modern politics lacks equivalent protective framing. No, it doesn't. You just need religion. Overall, hyperpartisanship isn't just bad reasoning. It's often downstream of politically induced trauma responses. Which reminds me, one of my patients yesterday asked me for a Torah. Not somebody I was expecting to ask me for a Torah.
Yeah, I mean, guess that sounds reasonable. People seem to lose rational understanding when they talk about politics.
Yep.
Although in general, I'm not the biggest fan of some of the ways the rationalist community thinks about human decision making.
It's overly rational.
I mean, rationality is important, but our best research in cognitive psychology shows that we need to rely on heuristics in order to make decisions.
What if I said you're wrong? What if I said you don't know nothing?
It's a double negative. True.
But yeah, I mean, in general, the rationalist community, I think, should study behavioral psychology and like how we have to make decisions under uncertainty.
Get in there, Kirk.
Getting where?
Get into that rationalist community and teach them.
I don't exactly know how I would do that.
Go comment on their blogs.
Okay.
No, don't.
Slide into their DMs.
Okay. Right. This is
over.
Brock's update on the situation. Regime admissions include damage to 414 government buildings, 749 police vehicles, 120 besieged bases, and 750 banks torched across over 400 cities. And death tolls are above 30,000. and I recently saw reports of at least 400 people executed. So there we go.
Yeah.
I don't understand how the aristocracy could be so entrenched when they've created their own financial crisis.
Okay, you are imagining living in a country where the vast majority of the population does not have learned helplessness.
Mm.
In a country where the vast majority of the population, and frankly, 80+% of Iran's population knows that for the past certainly 400 years, they and anyone like them has had zero say in what the central government of their country is, who actually runs the professional armies. So the professional army, right? Iran has two professional armies, one of them which is the actual army of the country called Artesh, and the Revolutionary Guard, Sepah Pastaran in Farsi. Sepah is the elites who rule the country, and they have spent the last 47 years ensuring that the entire hierarchy of the Artesh is yes men and people who will listen and do what they say. Okay? So there's IRGC on top of Artesh, on top of the general population. Over 80% of the population has zero capacity to actually engage in real fights with the Artesh, much less the IRGC. I saw videos of heavy machine guns being deployed on vehicle-mounted heavy machine guns against protesters. We use water cannons. They use heavy machine guns. Apparently, over 300,000 people have been injured, and over a third of those were people who were injured in the eyes. A lot of people are not going to hospitals because they have been going from hospital to hospital, finding people they consider leaders and executing them in the hospital beds. That's what's going on in Iran, and the internet's been down for the past 2 weeks. That's what repression is. Like, people in the West can't comprehend this. Yesterday, I was talking to some people in the West. I was talking to some people at work about what's going on in Iran, and somebody said, "But there were so many people being killed there a few months ago," and I said, "No, that's Gaza."
So are the guard true believers, or
Oh yes.
what? Okay.
Well, yes, they definitely are true believers in the same way that a lot of Putin fans are true believing Orthodox Christians.
Okay.
Huh. I'm pretty sure you've seen videos of the main cathedral of the Russian armed forces.
Oh yeah, the Warhammer 40K church. Yeah,
There are
where
people who actually pray there.
they're making purity seals and attaching them to weaponry and armor. Yeah, yeah.
Finding young men willing to do shit like that is not as hard as some people imagine it is. It really isn't.
It's cool.
And all you need is young men, and you can put guns in their
They're gonna die
hands.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Who's Marty Supreme? I have no
Don't
idea
look
what
at
these
me.
people
I
are
don't
saying.
know.
It's a movie. Some kind
How about
of movie.
could you get young women and just young
Nope.
people in general?
Nope. It's young men.
Okay.
It's testosterone. It is very gender based, and you can't even get most young men to do it. But large percentages of young men are vulnerable to roid rage. So it is what it is.
What can you do?
You can have a society that's not backwards and stupid.
Yep.
Yeah, doomerism is being black-pilled is cringe.
This isn't backpilled. These people are very, very white-pilled. Very, very white-pilled. They believe that the utopia is coming, and the utopia will be theirs. Yep.
What I was referring to is that Andrew was saying, "What can you do?" And I was saying that "What can you do?" attitude is a very black-pilled attitude.
Give me the strength to accept the things that I cannot. Give me the strength to change the things that I can, the grace to accept the things that I cannot, and the wisdom to know the difference. Cassandra, 16-year-old boys do not have the option of not taking roids, because being a 16-year-old boy means taking roids. The roid factory is actually in the building. Sorry.
I wonder what Andrew. I mean, not Andrew. I wonder what Trey would say if he was here.
Probably some stupid shit. As much as I love the man.
He I don't know. I think he says the first thing that comes into his mind too often.
That's why we love him.
Mhm.
Is it why we love him?
It's one reason. Maybe not the best reason.
So Andrew, how have you been?
Good. I've gotten to that point in life where you're either tired or you're exhausted, and you sleep just to be sure.
Hey, no, you haven't. Get out of here with that 20-something.
Yeah. It's good work. How about you, Kirk? How have you been?
I've been doing well. Recently, a new guy joined our chess club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and fortunately, he is also interested in some of the similar things I am, like physics and philosophy and stuff. So like, I can talk to him about those things.
Good to hear.
Although, of course, conversation is not a substitute for therapy.
I heard there was a new shooting in Minnesota over the weekend. I haven't
Yep.
been watching the news.
That is why the title of this broadcast is what it is.
I was gonna ask. Okay, you didn't talk about that earlier in the stream, though, did you?
Nope. I didn't do a monologue. I let the conversation pretty much go where it wants. We didn't talk about Iran either. But there's over 30,000 protesters dead in Iran, and there's 2 protesters dead in Minnesota. And one of them's the headline news all over the place, and the other one's not.
Very suspicious.
I wouldn't say suspicious, but
What's the word you'd use?
American centric.
For sure.
Wait, Cassandra says not with that attitude. Not with that attitude. What?
I am going to have to actually log into the stupid New York Times to try to read this article, aren't I?
Also,
And they want me to pay for it. No, continue without subscribing. They let me read it without paying. Nope, they don't let me read it without paying. The
If you
bastards.
try clearing your cache and see if they give you the free reads all over again.
Wait, like open a new
Browser.
incognito or private browsing in session. You might get a reset.
Incognito. Nope,
Well, they're on to you.
they are onto me. I will not give money to the enemy, despite how much I want to read this stupid article.
What's it about?
what?
Iran. How Iran crushed a citizen uprising with lethal force.
Oh,
And only the New York Times has the scoop on that.
Well, I want their
Take.
That's why I want to read it. I want to know what the New York Times is saying.
But you don't want to pay them for the privilege.
I will never pay them for the privilege.
But you still want their take.
I want to know who and what.
Sometimes you got to pay for enemy information, right?
Yeah, but I hate them more than I want to know.
Got it.
Although, obviously, they're not going to recognize how much I hate them. And it's going to bother me than it's going to bother them. But let me see if I can figure out another way. Are they going to let me read it on my phone? It looks like they're going to let me read it on my phone. Yay. Nope. They're are they? They are. I am reading it on my phone. Yep. They are letting me read it on my phone. Okay, let's break their stupid whatchamacallit. Although this is a very long article, you guys will enjoy it. How Iran crushed a citizen uprising with lethal force by Farnaz Fasihi, Sanjana Varghese, Malachi Brown, and Parin Behruz. In Tehran, the capital of Iran, security forces opened fire at protesters from the roof of a police station. In Karaj, they fired live rounds into a march, shooting one person in the head. In Esfahan, young men barricaded themselves in an alley as gunfire and explosions rang out. Scattered protests had percolated since late December, starting with a strike in Tehran's bazaar and fueled by a plunging economy. But by early January, Iranians had revolted en masse, and the security forces began to crack down with deadly force. It was not just the protests unnerving the regime. President Trump encouraged the demonstrators and threatened military intervention. In many places, riots flared in parallel with peaceful protests. Government buildings, commercial properties, mosques, and police stations were set on fire. On Friday, January 9th, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, ordered the Supreme National Security Council, the body tasked with safeguarding the country, to crush the protests by any means necessary, according to two Iranian officials briefed on the Ayatollah's directive. Security forces were deployed with orders to shoot to kill and to show no mercy, the officials said. The death toll surged. Despite Iran's shutting down the internet and disrupting phone service, some Iranians managed to evade restrictions to share witness accounts and hundreds of videos, many of which the New York Times was able to collect and authenticate. The Times has verified videos of security forces opening fire on protesters in at least 19 cities and in at least 6 different neighborhoods in Tehran in early January. These videos show the breadth and ferocity of the regime's crackdown. So do the testimonies of doctors and a nurse working in hospitals in Iran, and photographs shared by a witness and authenticated by the Times of hundreds of victims taken to a Tehran morgue. The Times also interviewed 24 Iranians in Tehran, Esfahan, Shiraz, Rasht, and Ahvaz who had attended protests, as well as relatives of people killed. Protesters, residents, and medical staff interviewed for this article all asked that their names or full names not be published for fear of retribution. By Monday, January 12th, the protests had largely been crushed. As more information emerged from Iran, the death toll has hit at least 5,200 people, including 56 children, according to the Washington-based human rights activist news agency Iran Human Rights, a Norway-based group that also monitors the situation in Iran, has confirmed at least 3,400 killed. Both organizations say that the numbers could prove 2 or 3 times as large as verification continues. I would say 10 times, but okay. Iran's National Security Council said in a statement that 3,117 people had been killed, among them 427 of its security forces. Officials, including Ayatollah Khamenei, have blamed terrorist cells tied to Israel and the United States for the uprising and killings. This is not merely a violent protest crackdown, said Raha Bahraini, a lawyer and an Iran researcher at Amnesty International. It is a state-orchestrated massacre. Crackdown. On January 8th, Nasim Pouraghai, 45, a mother of 2, and her husband Ali marched with large crowds in the Sadeqieh neighborhood in Tehran. She called her mother to say the atmosphere was boisterous and the turnout huge. Abruptly, things turned deadly. Her husband was walking behind her, hands wrapped around her shoulders to protect her, according to a cousin of Ms. Pouraghai's, who in an interview recounted the events of the night as described by Ali. A bullet hit Ms. Pouragai in the neck. She fell to the ground and began vomiting blood, the cousin said. Nassim, 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 her husband screamed, holding her face, but she was unresponsive. Help, help, he pleaded to other protesters fleeing the chaos, but nobody came forward. He felt his wife's body getting cold as he picked her up, the cousin said, and walked for an hour and a half to reach their car. When they reached the hospital, she was pronounced dead. A video verified by the Times captured the sound of live fire being directed at protesters in Sadeghieh. The protesters turn, flee, and scream as gunshots are heard. About 40 verified videos show gunmen and security forces cracking down on demonstrations. Across the footage, they are seen riding in pairs on motorbikes and using a variety of weapons, including firearms, batons, and tear gas. In a video filmed in Haftoz Square in Tehran, men and women flee amid the sound of gunfire. Some protesters clearly have leg wounds and leave trails of blood along a sidewalk as they limp away. A video verified by the Times showed. On the street, some can also be seen carrying people unable to walk. Muhammad, 40, a shop owner, said he and his younger brother were among the demonstrators in Tehran Pars, a middle-class neighborhood in eastern Tehran, on Friday, January 9th. When they heard the rat-a-tat of gunfire, I saw two young men who were running away collapse. They were shot from the back, Muhammad said. Security forces fired on protesters from the rooftops of a police station in Tehran Pars for more than 6 minutes, one video shows. The video shows the muzzle blasts of several rifles and picks up the sound of hundreds of gunshots and what appears to be automatic fire. A group of protesters run away along an adjacent street. Minutes later, a person is dragged inside the courtyard of the police station. Another video filmed farther along the same street and in the direction of the security forces were firing shows protesters sheltering from incoming gunfire. Put your phone down, they'll shoot your hand off, one person says. There's a sniper among them. The sound of bullets striking nearby can be heard amid chants of death to Khamenei. A video that the Times confirmed was filmed at the nearby Tehran Pars hospital shows several body bags lined up on the ground outside an emergency room entrance as people could be heard wailing. Husband and wife had a violent encounter with members of the Basij militia, a plainclothes security force on motorcycles in Karim Khan in central Tehran. The wife, 50, who is a designer, said in an interview that the men shot indiscriminately into the air and at people and screamed, "Get back inside." The husband was shot in the lower back with a pellet bullet. The wife said a member of the Basij found her hiding behind an electric pole, stood near her, and pointed a gun to her forehead, several millimeters away from her eye. He threatened to kill her, but had run out of bullets, she said. A series of videos verified by the Times from January 8th in Fardis, a suburb of Karaj, showed hundreds of people marching, then fleeing when a tear gas canister is fired in their direction. Gunshots ring out. Another video filmed near a police station in Fardis shows a protester who appears to have been shot in the head. More than 24 gunshots are heard as screaming protesters take cover. In the last video, the lifeless body of 7 people sprawl on the ground. In Mashhad, a conservative city in the northeast, huge crowds gathered on January 8th. This is actually huge because Mashhad is one of the religious capitals of Iran, really, and the people who live there tend to be very religious Shia Muslims. There's many seminaries there. Chanting slogans against the government, a video verified by the Times showed. Later that night, a group of protesters were walking down a road about a mile away from where the crowds had been when security forces on motorcycles rode up to them. Some of the officers dismounted and beat demonstrators with batons, while others fanned out, pointing firearms down the street as gunshots rang out nearby. In another video filmed at a protest in Mashhad and verified by the Times, a person is seen lying on the ground as others run to help. Look, they shot a girl, the person recording the video said. They are using weapons of war. Hospitals. Across the country, hospitals swamped by thousands of injured protesters were unprepared for the scale of the gunshot wounds they were seeing, according to interviews and text messages with 8 doctors and 1 nurse in Iran. Gun violence is rare in Iran, and private citizens are not allowed to own weapons. Surprise, surprise! The doctors and the nurse sharing their experiences in Tehran, Mashhad, Isfahan, and Zanjan described scenes of chaos, medical staff frantically trying to save lives, white uniforms drenched in blood. They said patients lay on benches and chairs and even on bare floors in the overcrowded emergency rooms. They said hospitals were short of blood and searching for trauma and vascular surgeons. The internet shutdown prevented medical staff from checking patients' names and medical histories, they said. A nurse at Nikon Hospital in Tehran said in an interview that the hospital resembled a war zone. A doctor at Shohada Tajrish Hospital in North Tehran, a sprawling government medical facility, said that on average, medical staff saw about 70 protesters with gunshot wounds per hour on the 2 days of peak violence, January 9th and 10th. Many patients were dead on arrival and shortly afterwards, he said. In an audio message shared in the Times, a doctor in Mashhad called the situation at his hospital terrifying. In addition to a staggering number of injured protesters, he said security forces showed up demanding access to patients to arrest them. He said a team of physicians had set up an ad hoc triage unit at a villa outside of the city where they treated patients too afraid to go to hospitals. And an anesthesiologist at a hospital in the Satar Khan neighborhood of Tehran said in a text message shared with the Times that in just one night, his hospital had seen 300 injured protesters. A text message from a doctor at a university hospital in Zanjan shared with the Times said most victims were shot in the upper torso, head, and neck, and that the hospital had recorded about 200 killed. The Times received photos and videos from inside hospitals that are too gruesome to show. Other very graphic images were posted online by an account with a record of publishing images later found to be authentic. They showed bloody, lifeless bodies inside hospitals, said to be in Tehran. Some victims appeared to have been shot in the head. The Times was unable to independently authenticate the images from inside hospitals. Farabi Eye Hospital in Tehran, a national hub for ophthalmology, registered about 500 cases of eye injury from pellet bullets on January 8th, and several hundred eye injuries with live bullets on the following 2 nights, a surgeon said in a text message. He was in the operating room for 3 nights straight and said he wished for death when he had to empty both eye sockets of a 13-year-old. A doctor in Isfahan said in a text message that they had seen young people whose brains were smashed with live bullets, and a mom who was shot in the neck. Her 2 small children were crying in the car, a child whose bladder, hip, and rectum was crushed with a bullet. What I witnessed will forever haunt me, the doctor added. I feel guilty that I'm alive. Photos, videos, and text conversations shared by the Times by Dr. Kayvan Mir Hadi, an Iranian-American doctor in Rochester, New York, who has been in regular contact with medical teams and hospitals in Iran, showed dozens of apparent gunshot and pellet wounds to the torso, limbs, head, and eyes. They are essentially executing people on the streets, Dr. Mihadi said. Starting Thursday, the reports of injuries I was receiving changed significantly. It went from brute force fractures and tear gas to skull fractures and gunshot wounds. Some images shared by Dr. Mihadi were sent by people asking how to treat their own wounds or those of relatives. One person asked about a bullet wound in his brother's leg. Another sent a photo of an eye with blood pouring out of a gash just above it. The Times sent a representative sample of 17 images to experts from the Independent Forensics Expert Group, coordinated by the International Rehabilitation Council for Torture Victims, who determined that the injuries appeared to have been caused by buckshot or birdshot fired at close range. HRANA, the rights agency in Washington, documented a significant number of injuries from pellet gunfire during recent protests, including shots into the eyeball. It said 7,402 people had serious injuries. A video obtained by the London-based Persian language news channel Iran International, it's a monarchist channel, and verified by the Times, shows bodies in the courtyard of Al-Qadir Hospital, less than a mile from where protesters were fired upon and injured in Haftoz Square. Some of the bodies are covered and tied in plastic bags. Others are wrapped in blankets. A woman crouches over the body of a man wrapped in a blanket whose eye remains closed. She weeps and speaks to him. Bodies shrouded in black plastic bags covered every space and surface, stacked in refrigerators, placed on the floor inside, scattered row after row on the ground in the parking lot and courtyard. Tehran's main morgue, Kahrizak Forensic Center, was overflowing in the immediate aftermath of the killing spree. The number of bodies overwhelmed the capacity of the morgue, a government official admitted on state television, blaming the killings on terrorist cells. But the handling and processing of bodies was also disorderly, according to videos and a person who visited the morgue. Families searching for loved ones were taken to a hall where a television screen flashed the faces of the dead, each with a number assigned to it. There were several photos of some victims because the severity of their injuries required multiple angles to identify them, according to the visitor to the morgue. Sometimes families would ask the morgue staff to pause, rewind, and zoom in, the visitor said. Others would immediately recognize a loved one and collapse. People screamed, wailed, and hit their face, and bodies in shock and grief. Multiple images and videos verified by the Times show hundreds of bodies laid out at the Kahrizak morgue within days of the protests erupting on January 8th. Outside the center, men unzipped black body bags as they searched for missing relatives. Others tearfully embraced as they discovered bodies inside a large hall where dozens more were laid out. Women wailed. One 16-minute video filmed outside the center showed close to 300 victims laid out on sidewalks and asphalt. It's a line of people, so they can pick up their deceased, the person filming said. The young people, their apple of their eyes. Staff in white lab coats unzipped body bags and examined victims' wounds. One staff member identified a wound at the back of one victim's head, blood trailing from it, and jotted details in a notebook. Another documented apparent bullet wounds on the torso of a bloodied victim. As the camera moved through the crowd, people could be seen going from body to body, searching for a loved one. Men embraced tearfully over the body of someone they identified. In one heartbreaking video, a father sobbed as he searched inside the center for his son, Seper Shokri, 19, a boxer. Seper, my son, where are you? He cried. Damn, Khamenei, this is his crime. Seper, Baba, where are you? The Times obtained photographs of over 300 bodies taken to Kahrizak. I guess that's how you say it. The photographs showed the faces of the dead, the top of their black body bags unzipped with white identity cards on their chests. Dozens were marked as unknown man, unknown woman, unknown child. Over 190 were marked only by numbers. The Times identified 29 legible names, among them Mohammad Irfan Faraji, 18, who an Iranian rights organization reported was shot during protests in Shahreh, a suburb of Tehran, about 10 miles from the morgue, where his body was photographed. The Times could not make a conclusive assessment of injuries based on their images, but a majority of the bodies showed severe head trauma, large gashes, and collapsed eye sockets. Some were severely disfigured. Several still had tubes in their mouths and EKG pads in their chest, indicating the bodies had been transported from a hospital. Dr. Nizam Pirwani, a forensic advisor for Physicians for Human Rights, who analyzed the images at the time, said the evidence suggests multiple victims had been brutally bludgeoned or beaten up at the scene or in detention. When one woman recognized her husband on the screen and dropped on the floor, another woman approached her, said the person who was at the morgue. She told her, get up, my dear, you have work to do. Funerals. Across Iran, funerals are taking place. Parents are burying children, children are burying parents. Siblings, friends, neighbors, colleagues, classmates, and teammates are attending burial processions. As the faces and stories of the victims surface, recounted by relatives or friends and posted on social media, so does the story of the uprising. The protesters killed represent a broad swath of Iran, ethnically, economically, and socially. Many were very young, teenagers, and people in their early 20s took to the streets with dreams of a better life, of a prosperous future, and of freedom, their families say. A 21-year-old basketball star who played for a national team, a 17-year-old Kurdish soccer player with a national youth club, a 15-year-old swimming champion, a 19-year-old college student majoring in Italian, a 26-year-old English teacher. The death on January 8th of Sina Ashkbusi said was described by his aunt in an audio message posted on the Instagram page of lawyers in Iran who represent human rights cases. Sina was killed with a direct bullet in his heart in Tehran Pars. She said he was very smart, a dreamer. He was after freedom and was very kind. Funerals have turned into protests with thousands of attendees holding pictures of victims and chanting death to Khamenei. Videos verified by the Times showed. By the way, chanting death to Khamenei is a capital crime in Iran. Footage showed huge crowds at a funeral for 3 people killed in Malik Shahi, a rural area in the province of Ilam, on January 4th. A week later, videos circulating on social media appeared to show huge crowds not far away in Abdanon. I guess that's a different city, not Abadan. Sorry, Abdanon. Another city in Ilam for the funeral of Ali Reza Saidi, 16, who was said to have been killed in Tehran during protests that week. At the funeral, at these funerals and that of Ahmad Khosravani, the basketball star, the crowd departed from the traditional mourning rituals of crying and reciting the Quran. Instead, they clapped, cheered, and chanted in unison, saying, "This fallen flower is a gift to the nation." Methodology. Despite a communication blackout, Iranians managed to use virtual private networks, or VPNs, and forbidden Starlink satellite internet systems to share witness accounts and videos, many of which the New York Times was able to collect and authenticate. Some videos were shared directly with Times journalists, others with Iranian human rights groups, BBC Persian, and the Iranian blog Vahid Online, all of whom circulated the videos on Telegram, X, and Instagram. The Times collected over 300 videos and independently verified over 160 of them by matching details seen in the videos, like business names, street fronts, signs, and trees, with archival images, satellite imagery, and Google Street View. Iranian reporters with the Times watched and listened to the videos for accents or other details indicating their authenticity. Sometimes referred to verification carried out by GeoConfirmed, a research collective that specializes in geolocating where videos are filmed. The Times independently confirmed all the videos reported on for this story. 2 weeks on from the worst of the violence, footage is still emerging. Confirming the date those videos were filmed is not always possible, but by checking that the videos are new and not posted during previous crackdowns in Iran, and by mapping out when and where protests and crackdowns happened in January, we corroborated the date they were most likely taken. Yep. So there's that.
Yeah. Well, what can you do? Well, sorry, not what can you do. Oh, well, yes, what can you do? What can you as an individual do, but except pray?
Pretty much.
I recently, I actually did say Misha Berach at shul for the Iranian protesters who were harmed.
Glad to hear it. Name of article was what was the name of this article? How Iran crushed a citizen uprising with lethal force. Jacob went full-blown LeVar Burton reading Rainbow. Okay, kind of. There you go. It's all Trump's fault. Trump wants to supposedly use military for protesters. No Nobel, no peace. I am increasingly of the opinion that Donald Trump is likely to declare an independent Kurdish state in Iranian territory. I don't know that, but we will see. We will see.
Yeah, I mean the economic impact of this, I think, is going to be pretty substantial because of the sheer damage that it's going to have to the Iranian workforce.
Damage to the Iranian workforce? What?
Like when you have when you're killing off a substantial amount of population, that means fewer people who can work, right?
That's not a significant. Iran has a population of 90 million. They have not killed a significant portion of the Iranian workforce.
Okay, but what about the people who are scared of going to work because they're scared that?
Iran has definitely been not doing well economically for the past 3 weeks, but Iran hasn't been doing well economically for many, many years. Yeah, human resources is not the problem there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm getting tired. Final
Yeah.
words.
Just I'll post in Discord. I was recently reading something about educational theory from a Paparian perspective. I'll post it in Discord. You might be interested in that.
Andrew, final words.
I forgot nothing.
You've
Good
got
talk.
nothing. Jonathan,
I'm not a
final
teddy
words.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
Epstein indeed did not kill himself. My final words. Yeah. It would be nice if there was less stupid in the world.
It would be nice if there's less.
I'm going to use host's prerogative to put the Reverend Parcells to bed because he does need to get up in the morning.
Sorry,
You are
Reverend. Thank
correct.
you.
But before he goes, I have a question. Let's say, God forbid, that I were to burn somebody at the stake for not being a Trinitarian. And I did not repent of that. Is that a salvation issue?
Sometimes Jacob takes that devil's advocate thing too
Isn't there a
far.
proverb that says something like "Don't answer a fool according to his folly."
But there's a proverb that says, answer a fool according to his folly.
There is.
Exactly right. And I'm going to leave it to you guys to determine, which of those was applicable in this situation as I go. So, but anyhow, good.
Thank you, Reverend.
Good to
Thank
chat
you.
with you all.
Thank you.
Good night.
The